Hello, my name is Charmaine. I'm from British Columbia. I was born here in 1961. My parents are seventh generation, well, my mother is, Elliot, like your father, Justin, who's also an Elliot. When I was a child, my parents were doing a genealogy, and they used to joke that we could possibly be related to you because of your great grandfather, Philip Armstrong Elliot, who was the father of your grandmother, Grace Elliot. When I was a child, I was so proud of that, the possibility of being related to you distantly. However, I've grown up, and just knowing that you could possibly be a distant relative of mine makes me nauseous. I didn't vote for you because your father, Pierre, was not a very well liked man. Why? Because in 1972, when I was 11, I was going to school one day with a friend of mine who was 7. Her name was Tanya Bush. Well, her father was a prison guard in BC Penitentiary. The inmate, the man who later abducted my friend and murdered her, was also an inmate on the tier that her father worked on. Later on, this same man was moved to Matsqui prison, where he was allowed to go out on weekend passes to visit family. Because your father, Pierre, thought it would be rehabilitative for these men who abduct and rape and murder children, would be rehabilitated if they were allowed to be released for weekend unescorted passes. Well, this man was on one of those unescorted passes who abducted my friend and murdered her. 4 years later, 1976, it was debated in the House of Commons whether they should abolish the death penalty for murder. Your father thought that these people should have equal rights under the protection of the, whatever you want to call it, that your father abdicated. So, in essence, your father basically gave that man the right to murder a child. And all he got was a life sentence of 3 square meals a day. Now I ask you, you have children. Your daughter Grace, named after your grandmother. How can you not think about your children and their future when you are despised by not only Canadians, but the world? What future will your children have? I can tell you what future they will have. They will be despised. They will be bullied. They will have a legacy that they cannot live up to because you disgraced them by your draconian mandates that you have the power to withdraw from all provinces. What is the point of having a Prime Minister who has not got that power? You pass the buck on to the provinces so that you don't have to carry that burden, but your children will. So I ask you, Justin Trudeau, to think and reflect on what your children's futures will be. Because if anybody's children should be taken from Child Protective Services, it's yours. So all I ask you is to reflect, look within yourself, and look to the future of your children, because they will face the legacy of your decisions when they grow up and they become adults. I can guarantee you that. So that's all I have to say, Mr. Prime Minister. Well, I don't really want to call you a Prime Minister because you're not mine and you never will be. Peace out.